I was muted there. Okay, so we're going to take this from the top, from the beginning. The reason I wanted to go live here today is to direct you guys to my community tab. In my community tab, there is exhibits A and B. Two video link clips that are highlighting some pretty specified things here. And the only way I could really go about doing this without having to worry about getting a copyright strike or something is by putting those links in my community tab. Welcome back, Hamslip. Welcome back. Shout out to the replay crew. So what I was discussing there while I was muted was the fact that our good old friend Tyrant Bird there has called out his old friends, even just excluding myself, and him trying to do that to me. But Mr. Bird there has tried to paint his old friends on the shit show of which he was very much a part of, because his avatar appeared in the intro. Remember that catchy intro? If my memory serves me right, which it usually does, his image appeared on the sidewalk scene, and then in the background was the billboard. And the billboard brought on the shit show logo, and I think you see Authority Check appear in there. And then it just kind of disappears, right? So he was very, very much integrated into that community. Today, he's against that community. And, and this has to do with a fallout of a DM that came out with Game Over 2 or Buy Game Over, whatever, right? I try to convince this guy, whatever beef you have with these guys, I would encourage you to stay on point rather than trying to paint them all as predators and things like this, which is, of course, what he had tried to do to me prior. Unbeknownst to him, I had recorded, if you go to my last video short, I think many or most of you have seen that already, where he's on Lisa B's and we corner him on that. Just like we cornered Blue Eyes on COVID's, when she was running around chanting, repeating what Rick Crude had said about me a couple of years ago. And some pretty horrendous, slanderous, completely fabricated remarks. This guy wouldn't have a dime to win suing him civilly. Otherwise, I probably would, actually, because I know who he is. But anyways, besides the point. Neither here nor there. People out here have literally rewritten the Oxford legal term of the word slander and defamation of character. So, a lot of these discussions that go in Discord are ex parte, if you know what that means, to one side only. And that's kind of the way it goes out in this community. What I'm bringing to light, and I've already hashtagged all the concerned parties in this, or that would show interest in this, or that we're actually, kind of being either involved in it or indirectly, right? So there it is. So if we go back to Zatoichi's panel a couple of days ago or so, and we've been hearing this out of this guy for some time, much to our avail, is Bird has been running around calling all of his old friends predators. If you guys recollect when he went to Tonic and Sale's crib there, pulled up on him, and then it would appear I would say the evidence leans towards Steph sharing his docs that he had given her prior for whatever reason, I don't know, but not having his apartment number as he had stated when all this was being discussed the other day again, when Steph and Bird tried to ambush him and AC on the panel with me in the middle. I'm always in the middle somewhere. It seemed that way. And then asks him to come out, calls him up on the phone, asks you to Ollie. He comes out. Boom, there's Bird. Bird obviously didn't have his apartment number. That's evident. Why am I talking about this? Because you guys are going to hear my take on this now. The guy who Steph and Bird and guys, Hebrew, you mentioned him, Rada. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Shout out to the replay crew. Have been just tossing around when they go live and saying, it was irrelevant. It was irrelevant. It was irrelevant. Okay. So you guys know about legal proceedings. Well, you proclaim to. With those high school diplomas of yours. I'm not knocking anyone with high school diplomas. I have one too. What I'm saying is, these are people that have minimal knowledge of law. Okay? I am not a lawyer. Okay? I'm the first one to tell you guys that. I'm not a member of the bar. If anything, I would have drank the bar. Okay? But I did take business law in my MBA, in my part of my MBA graduate program, and that ought to qualify me more than these guys, and that doesn't qualify me either. Okay, so I got an A in that class, ace that sucker. Bird has alluded, and Steph came up on the panel herself, and she outright alluded to and insinuated that Tonic, she didn't say it, but she was pushing for it. She wanted to. She bit her tongue, obviously, to try to throw out that narrative. Good morning, Angel. PI for hire. But trying to insinuate that Tonic is actually some kind of a pred. Okay? So let's dive into that for a minute. So he shows up at his house uninvited. And there's a stranger nearby as we see that live stream that's been replayed oh so many times. Don't worry, I'm not going to replay it. I'm just using my mobile live. This is the laziest way to go live. Okay? All right, I got paid StreamYards. I didn't feel like kicking that off. Now, he was chanting that Fox there was like a child predator. Okay? The same bullshit he tried to pull with me, but in a different scenario, just prior to any of this going on between any of these guys on their particular side of YouTube. So, anyways, he's chanting that, he's yelling it out to some stranger that just happened to be in the area that Tonic said he didn't know. Just some guy, random guy. And that's what, of course, drove Tonic to call the cops. I'll be honest with you. If I had some nut job who's just standing around being a dick and yelling that about me in front of people that live around my neighborhood, I'd do the same thing. Guarantee he would too. Now, that's finally what, that's finally what broke the camel's back there. Obviously, get him to do that. But the funny thing is, when I talked to, because Bert is a very difficult person to even communicate with. Whoever made that comment that he likes to pull, it's so 2022-ish to get on a panel and to, just talk over somebody because you don't want them to get their point across. You do a mix of gaslighting and dogpiling. If there's no one there to make a pile, you just do it yourself. Steph tried that with me numerous times. Nothing new there. But the funny thing is Steph said, because if you show your very private parts on a live stream, such as we're talking about 10th Man at 2 a.m. Now, I missed that, but she said that's different than porn bombing. And my argument was, how so? Because it's still showing graphic images, whether they're yours or somebody else's. So I argued relevance. Now, AC had said, kind of taken the position that it is different. Okay, and I would agree it's different in that you're doing it instead of showing a video clip of someone else doing it, but it's virtually the same thing. Now, the reason I bring this to your attention, because this has been talked to death. It literally has, by people that have very limited to minimal to no knowledge of it whatsoever. Is that the real big D? If you go to Exhibit A, I believe it's A, it's on my commute tab right now. I shared a couple of video links that I found on a channel that used to be really active called We the People Tyrant Wars. Anyways, you're getting annoying. So, catch you in a minute, Dave. But Bird himself was clipped by somebody out there, and I'm sure more than one, where since he likes to play the clipboard games, there he is talking about how we whipped his Oscar Mayer wiener out on a live stream prior. Okay? So if you're going to allude to that, your old friend Tonic is a predator, then you're going to have to eat your own words, sir, because that's your analogy of it. Damn. Now, let's go to okay. So the only thing I would say to that is, we all know what this guy had tried to do to me. All right, he clipped me in my voice chat explaining to a group of people that the lie that Recruit was spreading around, because all he does is lie, and we all know this, where he outright said that I was a child PDF file, guaranteed for sure. And then he was cornered on the shit show panel, and even AC said, "Okay, if you've got some proof, let's have it out." And he had none. Good morning, sweet. How you doing? So if you look at Exhibit A, you could literally make this guy use his own words. Now, he was very much a part of the shit show community for a long time. Literally from about not too far off when the thing even started. It began being in the intro, frequent panels, a frequent panel flyer, all of it. I do believe that he had keys to the show. I could be corrected on that. When I say keys, I mean access to the StreamYard and probably the channel too. You'll notice he calls all of his old friends PDF supporters, and we're going to get into Exhibit that. We're going to get to that in just a second because that's going to be Exhibit B. All right, B boy. So and again, I had to do it this way because that channel is notorious for striking people. Who copyright striking people almost immediately who play any of their content, even a little snippet of it, or show a screenshot of any of it. So, which you call their intellectual or artwork. I decided to err on the side of caution and I threw those things Exhibit A and B. I hashtagged the people that would be interested in it or were being kind of, entwined or directly or indirectly involved in it in some way, shape, or form. The rest of you can obviously go check it out. It's a public tab. But Exhibit B is something that the shit show community would be very little aware of. That's because this particular individual never really mingled with any of them. And he only came around on a few rare occasions when people like 69 Mammy were trying to talk shit about me. So, and she's, I've talked about how her and Hillbilly Man went on one of her last live streams, and they laughed about, and they said that I suicide baited an underage girl, and they laughed about it. Now, that would be Lady Diana's grandkid. Now, that was a real tragedy, and that story never should have been brought to YouTube. That occurred on a D-band panel probably like 4 years ago. But and a recruit, of course, accused her husband of doing things to her, who was a Vietnam war hero, who passed away on his 65th birthday when that girl was not 4 years old. So the timing was a little inaccurate of what Rick Crude was trying to throw out there and spin on his false narrative. That's when he jumped and accused me of doing it because he had lost his YouTube channel, and he blamed every time he lost his YouTube channel. He always blamed me because I struck him one time, and that was right, justifiably so. And that wasn't even a copyright strike. The guy was making terroristic threats against me, like to blow up my house, set it on fire, murder me, my whole family, and on and on and on. So you got to consider the source in that one. But people on the shit show side of YouTube were genuinely curious about a lot of this, and they didn't know who a lot of these key players were. They knew 69 Mammy, but they didn't know a lot of these other people. They knew Recruit, obviously. But there were so many people that were trying to get at me at that time that, some of the people there, good morning, AC, some of the people there, not you, AC, though, I never saw you, were going to these channels like Salty Rants and trying to see whatever kind of dirt they could whip up on me. But neither here nor there. Now, I want to redirect myself to you and direct you guys to Exhibit B of my community tab. That's an important piece of key evidence there you guys need to take a look at. That's why I bring up this guy, Salty Rant. Just a brief lowdown on him. Is in 2019. I have the date written down. I'm probably in June something of that year. I'm sorry, 2021. Did I say 19? 21. There was a battle between, he spent 4 years harassing Ḥᵒⁿᵉḵ Richard, much the same as Bird was doing. We all know about the burn videos. That was pretty bad. Pretty damn bad. So Bird has alluded to that his old friends on the shit show, particularly AC, are PDF file supporters. Now I want you to pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. Because the guy Salty Rant, which is very little known on their side of YouTube, because he was kind of kicked out of the 1A community altogether after he made verbal threats to do things like put Peanut 401's grandkids on X-rated websites on a channel known as News Now Tammy Lin, okay? And Tammy Lin isn't too known by these guys either, I don't think. But he's an old cop watcher dude of his heyday. And I don't think he's too active on YouTube, but I've had him on my panel before, and that was over stuff with Mammy and them. Totally different issues. I don't even get into that right now. So I'm going to keep on track here. So on that panel was him, Swammy, who Tonic knew that guy. And I was surprised because sadly he passed away. But, like Tonic knew, he knew Salty Rant because he would prank call that guy at work all the time. And I could never figure out who it was myself either, but I thought it was hilarious. And I was praising the anonymous source who was doing that, and it ended up being him. So shout out to you, buddy. But the thing about it is, and the reason I bring this to everyone's attention is because Salty Rant, get this, was a diehard supporter of News Now Houston. He used to bring him on his panel as a special guest from time to time. He was very much like what Lanely Lang, okay? He wasn't a mod per se in the guy's channel like she was. And he has one thing in common with her, in that he very poorly faked his own death, and then that got exposed like within 2 days. But besides the point, this goes back to that time period, right around the time the shit show was kind of just starting out. Wasn't that like 2021? Maybe it was a little before that. Something like that. But whenever that started up from the Drama Dome. But besides the point, so the reason, again, that's why I bring this to y'all's attention, is because Bird at one time was enemies with this Salty Rant, but he became friends with him later. He did. And I do believe the reason that he became friends with him is because, well, he had one thing in common with him: getting at Ḥᵒⁿᵒ Richard. Wow. Damn. Now, I have some homework of my own to do here, guys. My homework assignment is to pry those old files of mine, go to the 8 vault, and try to find what I can where Salty Rant, and maybe it's even on a couple of my old mobile phones, which I still got. If I charge them up. Hell, I'll go buy brand new batteries if I got to. If I didn't transfer that shit over. But my point is, Lou, aka the Salty Rant, was wrenched in Bird's chat. He was. I offered Bird $200 to pull the guy's wrench once, and he said no. So, it's interesting that he's trying to call out his old friends on the shit show, particularly Authority Check, that had gone out on some cop watches and whatnot. Shout out to Pink Birdo for making that one stick, and whatnot, as being a, quote, PDF file supporter. But he fails to state the fact that he was friends with Salty Rant. And if we're going to play the guilt by association game, he can eat his own words on that one, too. Damn, got you again. Blame Katie. Used to hang out on Rick Productions' channel when she first started out. Was a moderator on there. That is correct. It was obviously a group. It was a small little group of earlier trolling that was going on. But the fact remains, she was hanging out on that guy's channel and on his panel. Oof. And that's somebody that Bird hangs out with and is friends with. So that's why I brought this to your attention today, guys. It's because some of these characters, like the Salty Rant I mentioned, y'all don't know much about him. His stuff goes back to that panel with Tammy Linlin when it was him, Swammy, rest in peace, Too Tall Rob, and Joe Cool on that panel. And that is still on that guy's channel today. It's still there. I just got to go find it. And if I dig hard enough, I can find the whole thing. But the clip's already out there. Tyrant Wars has played that thing till it went out of style on their channel. Teresa has a channel, backup channel, that's called Potato Lou. Just type in Potato Lou. 2 separate words in your search engine, and you'll find old video content on that. It's like the second or third video in. You'll find that clip with Salty Rant going at Peanut 411 because she gave 2 community guideline strikes that year. And he just about lost his channel and about lost his marbles. And then he started making backup channel after backup channel after backup channel. I don't know what for. He gets struck, I guess. So that's why he lashed out at her and said that he would put her kids and grandkids on an X-rated website in the dark web. That's what Lou said, see? That's what Lou said. And that's a guy who's known to be affiliated with Mr. Liberty, a.k.a. Tyrant Bird. Damn. See, these are things he doesn't want you guys to know. These are things he don't bring up to when he starts, shit-talking his old friends. But hey, if we're going to play by the rules, fair is fair. Fair is fair. Now, as far as I go, he wasn't contemplating I'd have that clip where we cornered his ass on Lisa D's. And there's more to that. That means that there was a couple of COVID panels that we got on. COVIDs. Not the 19 vid, but COVIDs. There was like 9 or 10 of us on this guy's panel several times. And he is the most impossible person to try to talk to. Because he just goes crazy and he spurgs out. He just starts trying to scream over you. Just like he did in that courtroom in Kansas with me. He started to berate me, badger the witness, before I could even say anything. Now, Tonic, as the defense, came back at him. He did. And he's like, yeah, that's because you clipped him out of context and made it look like he said something he did not say, just like you did with Shiva years prior. All right. So, yeah, there you go. Damn. So, see, he likes to play this guilt by association game. He loves that. But see, he doesn't like it when people throw it back at him. And although this is a small piece of the pie, if you guys want to use the same, if you guys want to pull the same shenanigans on him as he is some of you, by all means, grab Exhibit A and B off my channel. Now, I hate to highlight that particular channel because, after all, they've openly admitted they're just as bad, if not worse, as the quote-unquote tyrants that they go after when that channel was really lively. We didn't see that channel fire up even a minute after the quote-unquote trial of the century. But, just saying. So I thought you guys would find that interesting, and that's the reason I failed to go live for like twice today, or once or twice, and I'm sitting here talking to you guys for almost 20 minutes with no audio. Yeah, that. Now, Hebrew was in here earlier, if you're still out there. Shout out to Cam Slip Blue Eyes, hello, an Arctic Chick, and everybody else in the chat. LG, you're out there. I mentioned I was talking to you earlier. And I remember what you told me when I asked you what was the whole experience. Well, you go back and just have it's not like SNL. It's like, and now Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy. It's certainly not like, and now Deep Thoughts with LGK9. But had that server. Hebrew Operator also ran a server where a lot of shit went down in there, and that's when we got introduced to Kane Catharsis, who came off of the what do you call them? The Panelverse over there on where he started on Speakeasies on a Friday Verbal Combat. It's the first time I saw that guy emerge anywhere. But I'm not sure exactly how he landed on Hebrew's server, but be as it may, he kind of sort of did, and that's just the way it went. So, anyways, I hope you guys consider my I have submitted to the Court of Public Opinion Exhibits A and B. They're in my committee tab. I couldn't exactly play those because, like I say, if the people are still around that run that channel, would probably strike me down, and that's not what I want to have happen. I want you guys to be able to go in there, download those videos. They're a couple years old, and there's more to be had out there, people. Trust me. Trust me. Why do you suppose Bird went and nuked his old channel? Why do you suppose he? Why do you think he might have nuked his or 303's channel? I mean, what a way to vaporize any trace that you were ever involved with that guy. Now I theorized this, of course, but isn't that what everybody else is doing out here anyway? Him and Steph have been trying to push this narrative. Rada tried it like all hell. The guy that called me once again. Insinuated that I was a child predator and a stalker. I mean, didn't this guy stalk Connie Rebel for a while? I tried to warn Tyler Durden about this guy, and she didn't listen either, and sort of got her channel nuked. Oops, damn, that bites. But yeah, remember what he did to Tonic there a couple of years ago? Yeah, kind of, sort of, insinuating it's stuff he wasn't supposed to have in his computer in a couple videos. I remember that. Wow. Damn. Clipped him again in another video that he doesn't have up, but I did download. Trying to make it, insinuating that things that are, even worse. Again, trying to pit people with crimes against kids. Isn't that something that people do that? Man, that's pretty deplorable. But it's what some people do out here, guys. It's like a last ditch effort to try to save themselves when they lose panels and things. Now, somebody mentioned when we were on Zatoichi's of how the tactics that you saw Steph and him using. She reeled him in for backup. Is so 2022ish, and that's when you literally try. Talking over someone, and basically a small dog pile or a duo. I'll call it a duo pile, and then trying to gaslight somebody to try to avoid and obstruct them from getting their point across. But then they demand that you just, you remain completely silent, right, Biggie, and not speaketh or wordeth when they talketh. Well, fuck that. I'm not about to cave into that. So, anyways, I wanted to. That's why I wanted to introduce those two videos, not because of the wicked deeds that were prior done by that channel, but actually done because it's a little piece of the pie that fits into place. It's like that you're looking for that one centerpiece of a jigsaw puzzle just to make it complete and whole. And that's exactly what I believe this is. How you doing, Brandon? So I think I was saying, LG is, her and Heber and I have definitely got one thing in common, and that's running servers where people get in there and just literally go to war. I mean, hardcore. And although I saved my server, I was very close to taking it down. Now, Mr. 303 went live last night, I became aware of, and I have known him since 2012, actually, but I did try to warn him about this dude Bird. Now, the question here remains, and he did not answer that, and I was expecting him to. Is he going to go running back to this guy at some futuristic point? Well, that's only for him to answer. Stay tuned, I guess, right? That's right. Or is this one big happy psyop where someone pretends to be enemies with somebody else, and they do it so that they can get those people to give them information, give them some dirt on somebody else that they just don't like, and then it's a collaborative effort so that you do in fact do that. Wow, isn't that amazing? I think it is. So I leave it in the air for you guys. And maybe you're probably shaking your head right now going, this is a big do nothing burger. Say that to Corrosive. It's not do nothing burger, you Mongols. Well, that's what I call it. I call it that because it's like a do nothing box. Okay. All right. So anyways, the reason, again, this is if you're going to get on here and you're going to start calling people, and this is, I told Bird before, I made this point with him, right to his own face. Digitally on YouTube, of course, that whatever issues you've got, whatever rifts you got going on with your old friends, it would behoove you to keep it on point and not sit there and toss out that narrative that they're all predators and shit. Eventually that's going to come back around and you're going to eat your own words. Because, people are going to start throwing out clips of you hanging out with people and using the whole guilt by association tactic game. Hey, it takes two to tango and a tit for tat. It absolutely, positively does. So I guess I would say I'm in my walk-in closet in my mansion right now. So I don't have the ferrite walls, you know what I mean? The soundproof walls up yet. Still working on that for my pro podcasting stream. Does that make sense to you guys though? What I'm saying is here's this guy, who's literally tried to pay, and Blame Katie tried the exact same thing. She ran to the old Cyrax people to try, hey, how you doing, TOS? Remember, you said I never say good morning to you. I did today. Him, what was I? It all adds up. If you sit and look at it in the old history that goes back 4, 5, 6 years ago, maybe even longer, right? Maybe even longer with some of these guys. That Mr. Bird was. It's irrelevant whether what's his name? That guy. Beware of Mouse approached him first. It doesn't matter. Just for the simple mere fact that he was seen in public and videotaped with him when cop watching and stuff was even going on or whatever was going on. It doesn't matter because there you are on video hanging out with the guy. So see, we can throw that right back at you. And those videos have already surfaced. And everything I had said prior was true. People were coming at me from different communities saying, oh, you lied. He never was seen in public with that guy. This is bullshit. Shit, he wasn't. And sure as shit, the videos came out. It doesn't matter. See, these are little games he likes to play with everybody else. These little psyops. Like context just doesn't matter to this guy. Now when it comes to trying to get one up on all of his old friends, right? That are now turned as enemies on his accord. And I never sat here and argued anything between any of those parties that, hey, these guys are totally in the right and you're in absolutely the wrong for whatever point it is that you're trying to make. Because the only points I've seen this guy try to make is trying to call his old friends predators and shit like that. Now, the one thing I was going to mention is this. When we were on Zatoichi's channel, I questioned this guy profusively, and because you have to ask him the same question 1,000 times before he's going to remotely cave in and begin to answer it, okay? And that's just how this guy works. I asked him, I said, so are you stating that your children were present in the room on 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, whenever the hell that was, that live panel on 10th Man's, when all that went down? Are you saying that you exposed your kids to an adult channel? And he came back and said, no, that's not what I said. He said, you can't get this right. You guys keep getting this wrong. He said that he basically alluded to what if, like a sort of a scenario saying, what if my kids walked in the room and what if they saw this graphic visual imagery on my screen? It was a sort of a what if scenario. So he tried to play that, and so did Steph on Zatoichi's, and I wasn't having any part of that. And I don't think any of them other guys were either, but I don't speak for anybody else, but I'm pretty sure they weren't. When Bird tried to throw that at him, and Steph all but outright said, without saying it, insinuating Bird's narrative with Tonic and Sales, or formerly, because this channel's is gone now. And I said, hey, listen, whether you like or hate that guy is irrelevant. Whether he likes or hates me or any of us is irrelevant. It's the facts that matter, right? Just the facts, man. Remember Jack Webb and Dragnet, guys? Come on. Good old classic show. Starting the radio. Hey, that rhymes. I'm a regular Dr. Seuss here. But, I'm like, yeah, well, him outright, making that assertion on some larger channels too, like you've done an Evil Ghost and Blaine Katie. I said, you could certainly eat your own words, because according to your own accord, sir, and your own words that were clipped and used against you, you showed your weenie on a live stream once. And that is all plastered all over the Tyrant Wars channel. That you did that. And again, this guy likes to play clip war games. So do I. Actually, I don't. But if you're going to do that with me, I called us. I says, listen, dude, I got him so triggered that night in Zats. All he could do is keep replaying that VC clip over and over and over again. Did you notice that? He wouldn't stop. So that's because you knew. I knew then. I knew then, as I know now, that he got defeated. That's what happened. He got totally defeated, and that's all he could do. Zat let that go on for the longest time because he was trying to, like, okay, eventually this guy's just going to stop and we're going to resume the same Scream show. Where Exiled said, man, Abe, you ruined it, man. We were going to ask some real hard questions. I says, dude, you had plenty of time to scream your questions out there like everybody else. Ask away. Do your dirty, do your damage, man. Do your damage. Don't let me stand in your way. There was no talking or reasoning with a guy who's insane in the membrane like that. Right, Dr. Dre? Holy shit. So, again, I bring this to your attention because I know about more of the history before this guy got involved in the shit show about him. Am I a historian? Hell no. Do I want to be? No. All this is a series of clips that I had archived from that Dark Clownface channel about him. And so hey, you got clipped. I got the clip, the one, at least I've got the other ones. I just got to find him, of course, where he's on COVIDs and we cornered his ass there. And that was stuff that did with me, not any of them. But just saying. Now, did you hear what Steph said about Paulie Crispy? Oh, I sure did. I said, now what is that? It wasn't even me that asked the question. It was actually Exile that asked that question. And he asked her, he says, I want to know what's the deal? What's up with Paulie Crispy, getting in the groove on your guys' your guys' aisle there. It's like the Three Musketeers over there. Every time Bird panels up and all of that stuff, I'm like, dude. I mean, seriously now. I mean, who's next? Nails in a chalkboard voice, Huckleberry again. Boy, we have round 3 or 4 of that one too, right? That's right. Now, I know she wants attention. I'll give her just a little bit. Just a little push there. Black Rose, who was on Callie's, and Callie blocked me on her channel yesterday. Boy, that bitch got a big mouth, doesn't she? Man, she really got a big chip on her shoulders. Thinks her shit don't stink. She sat there and was going at Robert Redmond, calling him a doxer. And I came right back at this bitch and said, why don't you? I says, just STFU, shut the fuck up. You are a doxer. And then, of course, she tried to reel in kids on that. And I'm like, okay, bitch. It's always the go-to for these dirtbag degenerates. Speaking of dirtbag, whatever happened to Dirt Guy and his sock account and his shot collar, the one that was calling me a PDF supporter everywhere? Interesting. I got spies in the back of my eyes. Shout out to the I Spy team. Anyways, yeah. So Shelley, the reason that he did that with Steph was he don't want no facts coming out about his past, man. He don't want that. Of course he don't. But like I say, man, you was hanging out with Salty Rant, the guy that stood by News Now Houston's side and probably still does. Yup, that's right. Haven't seen much of him around lately, have we? Nope. But yeah, that guy was a rooting for that guy all the way till the very end too. Damn. I mean, all the UPKers love to attack guys like Brian King, who interviewed that guy 7 or 8 years ago or so before we knew anything about this guy, but they sure don't want to say shit about him. So, yeah. Oh, so Blame Katie, I forgot to finish. Yeah, she went to the Cyrax people, the leftover, the people that were left over from that after Marty passed away, of course, who came from my home state, but and tried to get dirt on Tonic there over the whole Cyrax thing, and I think she didn't quite realize that they were just trolling her. I mean, come on. She knew she had to have it coming. Shout out to that $500 donation that she made to whatever animal charity, shelter, or pantry, or whatever it was, charity out there. So, anyways, stupid do they get. But yeah, this stuff is some. Oh, I forgot talking about Black Rose there. Yeah, she was talking it up a storm there on Callie's channel, and Callie can have whoever she wants. It's her channel. I mean, she can block whoever she wants, like she did me. She can, but she maybe she's using Black Rose to her advantage because she knows that Black Rose, she's a fish out of the water, man. She flops around to whatever community she can get in. Basically get herself into and seek high grounds because of the high tide. Here comes the tsunami, you know what I mean? So, no, this is new news. This is what was going on yesterday. Yesterday she was in Callie's chat just running her mouth. But I'm glad that she's got protection or supposed protection there with her Silly Wabbit and the rest of those guys in that chat, or not all of them. I mean, but anyways, Camp Slip Blue Eyes, shout out to you for rooting for me yesterday. The first thing Black Rose did, as I recollect, is she accused you of being me. I think that's hilarious. It's even more funny. But hey, we'll talk about living rent free, right? But yeah, she was somebody that tried to wiggle her way in and into the shit show side of YouTube and all them. She would literally try to find anywhere she could where anyone was even remotely anti-Abe, and that's what caused her to block me off Lisa's channel for 10 months. I almost wonder if, looking back at that now, though, guys, do you think maybe I should have a poll here, right? Do you guys think that maybe perhaps The reason she was so controlling of her channel. I mean, just ixnay me from the equation altogether, right? I mean, she hated corrosive commentary. She hated ASMR. She hated all these guys on Lisa's channel, and she was doing everything she could to get Lisa to kick him. And it's just like, dude, do you think maybe she was doing some dirty work for Huck? I mean, maybe Huck slipped her some money too, and try to get her to, basically sabotage your channel and stuff. Who knows? Who knows? The long-standing feud between those two. But I get it. I get it. This goes back to the watchdogs people out there. Like, you'll see the judge out there. He's from the watchdogs too. But if you guys want to know where Huck came from, that's where she came from. All right, she came from the watchdogs. It was she was hanging out on like Chuck Chasing the Facts from Australia, and I think that's where he's from, somewhere around here, and all that. Where's the ASMR? Where is ASMR? I believe that, and this is just this is my own jump to conclusions, Matt. Like an Office Space, there'd be this mat on the floor, and then there'd be these different conclusions written on it that you would jump to. By the way, shout out to the red swingline stapler. But they don't make them staplers out of hard metal like they used to. Man, remember those things? You could smack someone up. You could staple whip and somebody, not pistol whip them with one of them old staplers. But by the time the movie came out, as I recollect, they had the plastic ones, and I happen to have two of those myself. Hardly ever use them, but they make for a good showpiece. I even carry it in my bag at work. I do. I'm armed with a red swingline stapler. That's hilarious. And it's came in handy. Don't get me wrong. It's came in handy a couple times out there. But anyways, guys, you literally cannot make this stuff up. You can't. And I've said that from the very beginning. But again, this is all, and I'm going to admit this to all y'all. This is complete guilt by association war games that I'm doing here. I'm just trying to throw it right back at this guy's face, because he likes to do this to everybody else. See, this is what he does. So I mean, hey, it is what it is. What it is, what it was, what it shall be, guys. And that's just the name of the game. Roll the dice and take your chances. See if you get snake eyes. Or you get 2 6s. For a total of 12. Now, as far as the people from my old stomping grounds, and I haven't seen Prime around here to mark his bingo cards lately, his 8 bingo card. I would say that what was I going to say? I can't even remember what I was going. What was I driving at? Oh yes. The people from Restaurant. You'll notice that if anyone subbed to any of their channels, they don't go live anymore. Hey, Rob is in the house. I mentioned you earlier. There you go, buddy. Be blue. Anyways, glad to have you here. Hope I helped you out with how to make unburnt Pop-Tarts in your last video. Now, here's what I do have. I have the original video. This is completely unrelated to anything I've talked about, but it's related to one certain poisonberry. I happen to have the original video that Tats, Troll Auditing the Trolls, who is a real veteran of the U.S. Army, because the PDF elves, or as we've called them, the smells, shout out to what's her name? Keebler No Sugar Coating Truth, who can't run people over the right way. But the first time around, that is. But, and No Justice. You remember No Justice? Is No Justice out there anywhere? Just curious. Didn't Bird, hack into their channel once? I thought so. But that's old news. It is. Well, they doxed. They put out this guy's what's called a discharge military document. It's called a DD-214. Now, I know you guys are probably familiar with the NGB-22, which is used by Army and Air National Guard units, if you've served in that. And you would get a D-214 if you were deployed on a federal mission of 90 days or more, and all that military jargon, which I am not a military industrial complex strategist, so don't take me for what I'm not. But I happen to know those tidbits. TATS, here's where they got this whole thing wrong about TATS. Now, there is a job in the military that is called combat medic. And that's what this guy was trained in. It was one of his MOSs. His military occupational specialties was that he was a combat medic. These guys instead took it that this guy was stolen war valor because he claimed, or he made, because of his saying that he was a combat a combat medic. That's not, I don't recollect that guy making those statements at all. What I do recollect is him saying that he was a combat medic, which reflected on his discharge document anyway. So there's definitely that. I actually have a copy. I took the screenshot. It should still be on their channel this day, I would imagine. Go to the PDFL's channel, and there you'll go. So Troll Auditing the Trolls, it's a very long story, but I've been live for almost an hour, actually. It was live for about 20 minutes. My microphone muted. Where the chat was like, is this like a dead air stream? What's going on here, guy? So it's a real long story involving some veterans from the, Stoned Vet got reeled in this, and MSG retired, and there's another guy that's called the Unforgiven Yuri, and some of these people. I think Yuri was part of Watch Dogs too? I don't remember. It's been a while. But anyway, I have the video, and that whole thing started when I got on Reaper's old channel, Spirit there. It's called the Joker's channel in all lowercase letters, and he's got no avatar. It's like Trump said, it's just like a blue default letter. It says like lowercase t, where Trump said would be capital letter T. The same color too, by the way. But they're not the same people. It's just the color they got. Never use stream interface again. It sucks royally. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But it's the easiest way to do a panel. I know the audio kind of sucks. There was a StreamYards came to notice that they did improve some of the audio a little bit on that. Did you guys catch that? I did. But anyways, long story short here, that was me kind of dogging her. I was hounding her on saying that she had done all of this courageous stuff in the Minnesota Guard, the Army National Guard, and although she did enlist in it, and she does have a discharge document which is widely blank, and I actually uploaded the video clip of Robert Redmond's when he was where she was saying that she took her rifle apart in front of General. That was a gem I saved off of his channel. I'm sorry, before Callie nuked it. That was the one video I wanted to make sure I had when that was put out. So, anyways, just hilarious. I actually challenged her, and I gave her half the answer, and I asked her, "Listen, I got a question for you there." Guy says, "Can you name 2 sergeant ranks?" They're non-commissioned officers, NCOs. Do you even know what the difference between an NCO and a CO is? Probably not. I'm guessing not. But I asked her if she could name 2 sergeant ranks in the Army. And she couldn't name one. I gave her half the answer. She could have just said sergeant, 3 chevrons, 3 stripes. 3 stripes and you're out in the old Army game, right? Well, shout out to the Army, but she couldn't even get that right. But so what happened here is this. I just was having fun. I was trolling her on Reaper's panel, and Reaper was a guy that you could never talk to unless she controlled that guy, You could never talk to that guy unless you went through her first, the bitch. She was. She was hyper possessive over him. Hi, Prairie. I'll get into that in just a minute if you want to talk about that guy again, that tard. But anyways, I know happened a little bit about that, but no, he did not pass away. He's still around. But so just like there was like a rumor going around that Hillbilly died or something, and while I would agree that both him and Lou, as A.K. Salty Rain, are brain dead, have always been, well, I mean, Salty fried his brains and all that meth he used and his teeth. But as far as like in the physical, like mortal sense of being physically alive, well, and breathing, yes, both him and Hillbilly are very much alive. But we could argue that their IQ points are so low they don't even like register on the Richter scale. That they're virtually like, you know what I mean? They're the Walking Dead, like the show, or something like that. Oh, that's funny. So anyways, back to this thing here. It was like December of 24 that I was going at Huck. And just kind of quizzing her lack of basic knowledge of anything military at all. And she just failed it with flying colors. So, as I suspected, and she accused me of Googling it, and I was just talking off the top of my head. So, unbeknownst to her, I gave her half the answer of name me 2 sergeant ranks in the branch of the military you said you were in, which you did enlist in, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking that from you, but you have all this wisdom that you carry with you about the military, which you clearly don't have. Anyways, I've never disputed that her discharge document was like forgery or non-legit, because it is. She did sign up for it and just never went through with it. But the thing about it is that somebody, and I still to this day have no clue who did it. I shit you not, I have zero knowledge of who did this. I can speculate who might have went and did it, but do I know exactly who did it? I do not know who did it. And we will never know, probably never know, as if it really matters, because of all this other drama bullshit that's been going on since like now and then, right? That's right. So my whole point is that somebody clipped out where I'm sitting there going at her about her lack of military knowledge, anything, and they gave it to the Unforgiven Yuri, and then the Unforgiven Yuri gave it to his boys, MSG Retired or Stoned Vet. That's how that happened. See, I got all the blame for that, and I'm like, God, I vaguely even remembered that panel. Nobody from the your guys' sides of the street really knew anything about it until that got blasted on Stoned Vet's channel, and then Huckleberry went and got Tyrant Wars to go after that guy. Right? That was when she was in good terms with him. It would seem. It would seem as though the ties that she once had with that group are probably not so much there anymore. But I don't know that for a fact, see? Because with the trial of the century between a bird and a fox that's been just talked to death, virtual death out here, time and time again, we still hear about it, is just nothing, absolutely nothing out of their channel at all whatsoever. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. The channel just went dead. So with that in mind, yeah, that's just how that went down. But again, guys, the fact it remains that there's a lot of fuckery that goes on out here, okay? A lot of it. And just like when Bedtime Clown a couple years ago, was trying to sit there and quiz me on like whether or not I spent time in the federal pen for harassing some guy on the CB radio in California, which is what Rick Crude was trying to toss out there. Must have been a lot of hard time. Man, I was busting boulders in Fort Leavenworth or some shit like that. I can attest I've never spent a single minute, hour, day, second, or nanosecond in a prison. No, that's not true, though. I have visited a couple of prisons that were like condemned, or they were closed and open for tours. That I have done, but actually being an inmate, serving time in one, I have not. So there was so much of these lies that were being spread around. Just the Black Rose was the one that was trying to spread around that I harass women. Now, while I will agree that guys like Hillbilly Man are women, no offense, there's some strong ass alpha women out here that can fight hard like the rest of them. But you know what? They're sweet. Since you're in the chat right now, did you get that screenshot where she was talking shit about you? And I screenshotted her ass and I hashtagged you in it. She has her hashtags turned off, but like Rada does and a lot of these people. But she was riding that high horse saying, well, besides what people believe or say, Sweet as Sugar has not ran me off of YouTube. I'm still here. I'm sure you really care. I'm sure this makes a big difference this is impacting your YouTube life and experience tremendously. Like when Huck went live, was it last week and earlier this week and shit talking like Callie and them, and then she made it private like right after it. Yeah, that one. It's like, yeah, you guys like to talk a lot of shit out here. You like to start a lot of shit. You like to hate bond because you can't do it alone. You can't go alone because you're so weak-minded. And this is the end result, right? This is you guys trying to find some safety nets out there. Now, hey, listen, if you're somebody out there that agrees with my viewpoints, even remotely, and we're on a panel together, I got nothing with that. But don't take me wrong for what I'm not, man. I am not looking for any Captain Save-A-Hose for me out there. I will take it. I will take my lumps. I am like a Timex watch. I take a licking and I keep on ticking. So, but anyways, yeah. But I'm glad people because they're so jealous that they weren't part of this trial of the YouTube drama century. That they preach a narrative. Okay, you got two kinds of people out here. I mentioned the CB radio earlier. So this is Citizens Band Radio, like you'd seen in the movie Smokey and the Bandit and whatnot. But yeah, so it's like, what the fuck was I just going to say? I forget. But it was a good one, too. It'll come back to me. But yes, it's just, you watch these people, and they're just squawk boxes. What was that Looney Tunes character? Where's Brandon at when I need him the most? Where is Brandon? What was it called? The Loudmouth Schnook. The Loudmouth Schnook. Right? I believe, isn't that Rada's sock account right there? I think it is. But anyways, there is that. But yeah, say hi to the Facts Matter, who I believe is Rada's sock account, but can't come in here on his regular account. He's not blocked. He can come in his regular account. He just chooses not to. But so there's definitely that. But no, I was going to say your spelling's gotten better. I'll give you that. You're not Spurgeon. But yeah, these are some real winners. You had Steph first, and then Bird. Here comes what does he go by? We'll just call him Fox because I guess he doesn't use that identity anymore from his old channel, and that's fine. But you can attribute that very panel on Zatoichi's with that guy as you can with this guy right here, me, with people from my side of YouTube that they were so psycho obsessed over me, and these guys, they said, "Oh yeah, when Rick Crude gets a hold of him, he's just going to annihilate him." I knocked that dude down to size in the first 2 minutes or less. The first time we did a panel like together, a battle panel. But be that as it may, I really don't talk about him much. It's just same old, you know. I mean, you can only sit there and talk about somebody to death so much. And that's why these people want to keep this stuff going. It's because they got nothing else to do, to talk about. They're bored, miserable in their lives, and they can't stand somebody, you know, who makes a rare occasional appearance anymore, getting on a panel such as Zatoichi's and just enjoying themselves in the conversation, or so it appeared. So then we got to have we got to have the usual playground bullies come in there and say, "My ball, not your ball," right? Try to yank it out of our hands. But it's that mentality. I mean, that's what people would do with me. And here's the funny thing, just talking about me for a minute here, guys. Rob C's in the house. We got both Robs. I think I'm going to get robbed here in just a minute, guys, right? Oh, shit. But then we'll get the FBI entwined in this whole thing, right? Yeah, there you go. But anyways, what was I going to... so people got so obsessed over me for so long. They would go live on their channels, and they would talk about me for hours on end. Hours on end. It's so hilarious. It's funny when I go back and look at it. It really is. I wish I could almost relive some more of that, right? That's right. That's an evil Terry thingy there. With the rolling on like that, you know? Yeah. Right. Anyways, he was live for quite a while yesterday. Shout out to Terrytopia, where I have virtually trespassed on time and time again. Because he revoked my passport to his channel. Well, sort of. Sort of yes, sort of no. Obviously, he enjoys me. I give him something to talk about. Let's give him something to talk about. Talk about it. That was a lot of tune, right? So anyways, it's like... I remember getting on ER Video's channel, little Earl there, the AKA the Dark Side, and he originally was, and I was going at these foos for it was like over 6 hours, and they were hiding their candy asses in the chat, man. They didn't even get up on the panel like Steph and Bird did to try to go at Mr. Tonic and AC and all these guys, and then Bird trying to pull one up on me, which didn't work. He almost tried to call my bluff on that one. He did. Then I slapped the receipt out where we got him admitting to what he did. Damn, that sucked to be you. But yeah, so I'm on ER's panel, and all of these little like village idiots are like in the chat just spurging out. And not one of them had the guts to click that link and get on that panel and take that bull by the horns. Take it, take some more. They didn't. They sure didn't. So that was hilarious. I got that one downloaded. I do. I wish he'd make that one public again, by the way. He'll probably replay it because that's what he does. He tries to get people on his panel and get them fighting and shit, and then, you know... Then a year, 2, 4 years later, he replays it on his channel. You know, again, this is what he likes to do. Do I hate Earl? No, but he tries so hard, man. You got to give this boy some credit. He tries so hard. He finally got himself up to 500 subs because of reeling in Pink Boberto with Hebrew. Are you out there with Hebrew? And other people that like to go at Berto at the time when Berto was hardcore fighting with these guys. But Birdo's like all over the goddamn place. I mean, there was some entirely different community. I have no clue who these people are, and I got the link to it, and there's Birdo in the chat, and these guys know Birdo to the point where Birdo, they're like, "Come on up on the panel here, let's do this some more." Their style though is way different. It's hard to explain, but it's totally different the way they troll each other. It's actually kind of humorous, and it's good that when these guys do it, that they don't default to reeling in kids and calling people PDF files and supporters and all this rhetoric which we hear on our sides of YouTube so much. And that's really unfortunate. That's a shame. You got to give a person like Chicky out there, KT, that is, some credit. She tried. I mean, she made a community post about it, to keep kids out of it, and the thing got like I don't know, close to 100 likes, and you can't fault someone for trying to get people to just not go that route, but it's just what happens out here. And I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I mean, look what people tried to do to me, like Blue Eyes, right? Like Cam Slip, you know about that one. Well, you know what's interesting about what's his name? That TC community over there is a lot of these people that used to attack me came from that community. And that is a community where they notoriously, this is a community that goes after that Joey Wolf guy. And I never got into any of that shit. I just didn't care and to get involved. But, maybe a guy like Rod in a sock account here might be interested in doing that. I don't know. But the thing of it is this is a community that likes to do a lot of that shit. Like the stuff you saw Blue Eyes trying to pull with me with, off of Rick Crude. This is a community that likes to call people stuff like that. And it's just, they're a really tiny little group, and it's just like a little inner circle. Has anybody seen a channel called the Northwoods Press? It's just like really old. I don't really want to be harsh and say they're dried out, petrified auditors. That because all that stuff, pretty much, I mean, all that's dead now anyway, isn't it? For the most part, I mean, some of it's kind of made a little like comeback, but look at some of these channels where all these guys do now is just hang on panels together, and not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just they're not actively out there doing their what you call it, their audits and their cop watching, and now they just sit on panels and replay old videos and new body cam videos and stuff that come out, and they narrate it. Petrified auditors. It's pretty funny. It's petrified wood, man. Petrified wood. But channels like that, they'll go live and they'll have like freaking 8 or 9 people up on that panel, man. And there's only like 3 people watching. It's probably 3 of the 8 or 9 that are on the panel. It's not like Eli's channel there. What the fuck's that thing called? TPP or something like that. Whatever the hell it's called. That's the gift that it was Jamie or somebody out there. And I'm not talking about that was on the shit show Jamie guy. I'm talking about the like and snark Jamie guy, and him going at Eli, and the there's like the RO hearing that those guys get into that you don't hear about that out here on these sides of YouTube at all, because it's an entirely different like community of people and doing their own thing. It gets mentioned briefly from time to time, but those guys have had a long-standing battle for a very, very long time, and we've seen that kind of evolve in the course of time. Community. I don't. What is that guy's channel called? Like and Legion. Yeah, he's on Rumble now more. I remember when that guy's YouTube channel got nuked, and he literally the guy just completely lost his mind. He had at least what was it, like somewhere between 2 to 4. Yeah, the Krama community, right? but it's not just Krama. It's like some of these guys, like Eli, was never Krama. I mean, he was I don't know what you call it, a cop harasser, like a cop watcher. But and that. But yeah, it's a totally different area of YouTube, and I haven't seen Amanda out there, but she occasionally gets up on the panel, or used to anyway, and it's just totally different. It's just totally different experience with some of those guys. But anyways. Oh, Eli's in your server, or is Jamie in your server? Liking Jamie. I remember when I first encountered Jamie, and he got on D-Band's panel one night, and he was talking to her about some other shit. Yoda Dog was a moderator in her chat. This is her old channel. And he started deleting everybody, hiding everybody in the chat. I remember that. And she had another moderator gal that would take her camera and record everything going on and throw it up in these video shorts. And I grabbed some of those. We're going back to like about 3 years ago now. And so Lycan gets, I don't have any clue how he landed on her channel, but somehow he did. And she was live doing one of her screaming fests. I got a good one with her and Tanaga on there, by the way. That shit is hilarious. But God, it's just good God, y'all. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. But she is an absolute riot to get on a panel, and she just doesn't. And she's unstoppable. You had German dude and Callie going at it for like 4 hours straight. You could tell after a while it was like starting to beat down on him, and it was like the screaming kind of lowered to a little bit lower. But these are two alpha people going at each other, and just hilarious to watch. But the thing of it is D-Band could sit there for 6, 8, 12, 60, 62 hours. With no break and just keep going. I don't know where she gets this energy from, but she will just scream all night long. I remember when we had her in my server VC one night, and it was probably about 4 hours of it. I wish I would have recorded that one, but I don't record VCs, so there's that. The only record I have of anything ever going on my server is just screenshots of like who was in the VCs, but no like audio or clip recordings. The only clip recording I got was when Truthfinder UK snuck in there and started recording about an hour's worth of us. Not quite. And then uploaded the video on his channel, hashtagged Tyrant Bird there. And that was really my fault. Hebrew was the one who pointed him out. Like, who is this guy? But anyways, that's the only recording I have from all of when everyone was in my my server and it was all like going crazy. But I remember when I first started that thing up. I remember who was in there. I remember what was going on. I got some screenshots of some of that shit. But that's about all that exists of that anymore. If anyone's in my server today, the VC is totally dead. There's no one in there. But again, we can say the same for a lot of these other servers. Like their VCs are not like they used to be when all those recordings were getting leaked out. Before, not on my server, but it's just, this still goes on to this day, guys. People. I mean, good God, y'all. You know this by now, that when you get these VCs and shit like that, especially in the larger groups, even if it's just like 4 or 5 or 6, even just 2, you always have to assume you're being recorded. I stayed completely out of these VCs. I get tired of going in there and the Abe was a fake cop and all that bullshit. It's like, this has got to be the weakest minded troll that exists in the world, aside the ones that Rod and them were rolling with Able's mom's basement and just that stuff that salty rant started out. And that, I'm actually kind of glad for that, because what that proves is these people know very little about my personal life to nothingness. And I like to keep it that way. What do you guys know about my family? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. How many brothers and sisters do I got? Do I got any of them? You guys don't know. You don't know. Well, where do they live? Is this like, what the hell is the name of that show in the 70s? Like Little House on the Prairie, or some of those kind of shows, where like it's like everybody, like, like 3 or 4 generations of family live in like one big farmhouse, multi-story farmhouse, and we're out there plowing the fields at 4 in the morning. You guys don't know. You don't know shit about me, and that's the way I aims to keep it. Now I know whose sock account that is, because that's somebody who likes to take shots at Robert Redmond. So, anyways, but yeah, see, when people just use the same low-level recycled content with me, then I know that's when I know that y'all don't know much about me. And I want to do a shout out to the Timeout Cruise. Okay, I want to do the Timeout Cruise. And the reason I want to do a shout out to the Timeout Cruise in some of y'all's communities is because y'all erased any history, any record of me even being there. That's why. See, unbeknownst to some of you out there, but known by most of you by now anyway, is that when you time somebody out even for 1 second or 10 seconds or whatever, that erases every single comment that they made prior to. Yes, it does. And that means it says message has been deleted. That means it doesn't exist anymore. Now, granted, it'll exist on a server at Google. Oh, sure, of course it will. You got me there, buddy. But I can easily sit here and deny that I've been on any of these chats, any of these channels, because I just kept getting timed out over and over again for the better course of 2.5 fucking years. So thank you. I want to thank you. Thank you. Ooh la la. Thank you too. And thank you. Very, very much. So again, I appreciate that, because you help me basically wipe out any trace of any comments that I made to any of you, anywhere, virtually anywhere. And I think that's hilarious. So again, shout out to the Timeout crew. Why not? Why the fuck not? Now, let's see. What else is there to talk about? I don't really have much else to say, guys. I know I didn't do a panel here. I have limited hours on my StreamYard. The one thing I hate, and I will tell you this. This I will tell you. I absolutely despise having to set up StreamYards, a live stream, going in the studio, turning off DVR replay, and you're welcome for introducing that feature to a lot of you out there. And it protects your channel in more ways than one. You should all use it, trust me. If you go live, you should definitely have it turned on if you intend to do any kind of panel of any kind that's not controlled. All right? And then you got to turn on the stupid subscriber modes to like 1 minute, because you don't want it forces, it kind of cuts down on the sock accounts. Yeah, I get it. They can then sub to you and wait a minute, make their comment. But then if they want to do it again later and unsub you, then they got to go wait again. Y'all's lucky I don't set that thing for 7 days. Or what emo used to do, it'd say subscribers only mode. Had to have been a member of this channel for like 996 years or some shit like that. Like, what? Did we invent the wheel by that time? Did God part the waters for Moses to pass then? I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyways, did you guys have fun today? I got 29 people watching me right now. 29! and I'm doing a solo stream. I should be more like Black Rose, because then I can get on and go, oh my God, I am talking live right now, and I am going to talk about Lisa B and fucking Abe. No means no, Abe. No means no. Like I'm at a GQ magazine, and I am really privileged to look like I do, that I won't even turn my camera on. And God damn it, you Navin Johnson had to go and decode my voice when Abe trolled me to get up on Lisa's panel, and then you found out that I was sunshine and flowers and huckleberries. God dang. Oh, it's so hilarious. Sweet, this is a question directed at you and Robert Redmond here. Okay? Where do these people come from? Where do they come from? I'm still trying to figure that out to this day. I don't know what's wrong with this freaking world. What is wrong with these fucking people? I don't get it. I swear to God, I thought I met every low-level human life form on this planet. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. I'm just saying there has to be an explanation. Were these people like, ooh, I messed up on that's an upsy-daisy, messed up on that one, and God puts them on this earth just to give us a little taste of reality of what the nether world is like for guys like Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice. Did anybody see that last movie that they did, the remake? I mean, good fuck, where do these people come from? And I can't begin to answer that question. I'm not even going to try to answer that question. Why should I? You tell me, right? Right. So, anyways, I don't know. I really don't know. But okay, so let's go back to the Zatoichi. And Crossers Corrosive should be proud of me for pronouncing that properly. Everybody gets it wrong. I did for the longest time. So I call him Zatoichi for. Okay, that guy. The rolling four, all right? So Steph was so hell-bent getting to Fox, right? Getting to that guy. Because he would drop and she would come up and she would drop. So finally he just stays on the panel. She gets up on the panel and it's like deja vu for me. Because I'm just like, this is like such a flashback of all the people, all the little dotards, degenerates that would get on panel with me finally. And they didn't have shit new to say. So, I mean, we're all sitting here waiting for this big smoking gun of hers again with this guy. And guess what? Nothing. And I did come back at her and I says, there's stuff. Sounds to me a little scripted what you're reading here. How many words a minute does Bird type? I'm just curious. Basically, I'm outright insinuating that he's feeding her things to say, to throw at him. It's like little gotchas. Yeah, that. She didn't deny that exactly now, did she? Nope. Sure didn't. Anyways, just saying. I'm new, guys. I'm new. I'm a noob here. Please tell me more. Wilbur. Now, you guys might not like that speakeasy guy, but I'll tell you one thing that guy did. More than once, actually. That guy put Katie in her spot more than once. And that was hilarious. And she didn't fuck with that guy, as far as I can tell, ever again after that. So that was a lesson learned the hard way. Just like she learned that lesson with a certain double agent out there. You know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, quite literally. There's certain people you just don't want to mess with. And otherwise there'll be absolute hell to pay. And that tonic that I he did tell us that. He did say that. I do remember that. Anyways, again, the way I look at that, it was like a flashback from like 2022 and 3 with me, because I'm like, this is just so like what people were trying to do to me. I would sit there and they acted like they had so much to say. They just so much. They just absolutely had to get on the panel and just annihilate me, right? I mean, I'm just absolutely, there's no coming back. There's no coming back or recovering from any of this, right? That's right. So they would get up on that would eventually get one of them up a panel. One of them is Big Ed, a.k.a. Ed Ramirez, and that's not his name. That's his original channel that got taken down for community guideline violations and whatnot. I do believe, but this guy, he hangs out with like Huck and them and people like that. But he's on ERR's channel. I think he hangs out in the TC areas, just like Dirt Guy does, and sock accounts and things like that too. But my point is that it's like I would get that guy who never gets on panels, literally never does panels, and I would finally get his ass up on a panel, and I would just tear into him. I would cream that guy a new one, and then I would pause and wait for the guy to come back to me, and he's like nothing. I'm like, what do you have for me? I mean, you let's try something new here, rather than all the fucking lies that you people said about me, saying I have this like rap sheet that's like from here to Shanghai. You know what I mean? And back. And guess what? Nothingness. Nothing. So I'm like, you must have something you want to say so bad to me that you just couldn't resist the temptation of getting on here. Now, could you? Now, could you? You got up on this panel is what you did. And you tried to take on Honest Abe. And you failed. You failed the mission miserably is what you did. That's what you did. Yup, your attempt to expose Abe for being all of this horrific, horrendous stuff. He's literally the boogeyman. Hiding in your closet with the skeletons. Yup, that's right. Good old Honest Abe. That SOB. We're going to get him one of these days. That's what we're going to do. So, I sit, and I sat, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited some more. It ain't shit. Nothing. You have nothing. Nothing. You don't got the gatekeeper. You don't got nothing. You don't got nothing. You don't get the gatekeeper, you don't got nothing. That's how that works. See, capiche? Bada bang, bada boom. Bada boom, bada bang. Now, I got a question for you. Now, Sweet as Sugar, you take care of the one thing? Shelly, you got the other thing? Huh? Robert? Gia? Rada Sock Account? Facts Matter? You take care of the one thing, I take care of the other thing. Capiche? You take the caddy. The caddy's got a lot of room in the trunk space. You take care of what you gotta take care of. So right. Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. Oh, it's so fun to watch people get triggered and spurg out online. Yes, they can. Some of them can dish the shit out pretty good, but they just can't take it back, man. They just can't. I love it. God, I love it. I'm like, this is a video platform. This is a YouTube video social media platform that's, when you turn it off, life goes on. But for some of these people, it doesn't. They literally sprinkle this shit on their coffee every single morning. Yes, they do. And if they're not here, they're in Discord. If they're not in Discord, they're here. That's my boy Zedwichi. Forget Luigi and Giuseppe and Vinny and Vito and Pledo, all of them, man, all of them. So, anyways, yeah, that. If anyone was trying to figure out what the hell I was trying to mimic there, that was the movie Analyze This and Analyze That from the 90s. So, anyways, the FBI are in their surveillance van outside the restaurant there, and and they're recording, and the guys are inside talking about taking care of the one thing and the other thing and all that shit. Now, I remember distinctively in this one community that existed, and I don't know if it's still around very much or not. I guess some of the old players are still involved in it. But trolls, haters, and naysayers, those guys, when they used to have a YouTube channel before it got nuked, for again TOS and guideline violations, I have no doubt. They were doing a live panel one night, and they're talking about Rick Ḥᵒⁿᵉ, of all people. This is after he lost his leg. So, anyways, so they used to troll him and Emo and some of these old Gers that these guys considered cows. I can't think of half their names now, but it really doesn't matter. This is a long ass time ago. Ask your mom would know. Your mom would know, I'm sure. But anyways, I made one. The chat is going like a million miles a minute. There's like 200 people or more in that chat. It's much the same like whenever Music Biz Marty went live, and there was like 1,000 people in there, and like he didn't turn on slow mode, so the thing is just like like that. It's just flying. It's like an old DOS computer in the movie War Games. the server's just smoking, ready to just self implode, But oh my god. So I dropped one comment in there when they were trying to psychoanalyze. They were trying to break him down and psychoanalyze him, is what they were trying to do. So I made a comment in there, and what I said is, look, I don't know what kind of psychiatrist you guys think you are or are not, but if you're any kind of an actual degreed practicing psychiatrist, anything, trust me when I tell you this. If you're trying to psychoanalyze a guy like Rick Ḥᵒⁿᵉ, your PhD will literally jump off the peg of the wall in which it is hanging, and it will leap to sudden death. I can assure you of that. If it has peg hooks that it can, forget the pun, run on, that degree will be long. It'll be long gone and nowhere to see. You'll never. It's like when he lost his dog Bo. That's the name of the black dog he had. It was like a Labrador or something like that. That got up and ran away. Can you blame that dog for running away and not wanting to look at man? Forget this shit. I'd rather be homeless. I'm basically that now. Might as well get out of here and skedaddle out of this place. Fuck that. Fuck this shit. Well, I mean, good for that dog. Hopefully it found a nice, good home. You know what I mean? Oh. Anyways, like I said, you cannot make this shit up. You can't. Like I said before. But I mean, so it's like you are so hell-bent at getting up on this panel and having a piece of me, right? For like your in-between snack or whatever. That your appetizer, that I'm like, I'm like twiddling my thumbs here, waiting for the big smoking gun to come around, and all I hear is this. Abe was a fake cop. Abe lives in his mom's basement. Well, Abe has no job. I'm like, okay. Now that is in the Abe Nayers playbook. Now I want to give credit to those trolls. Well, they think they're trolls. They're just not very good at it. That ran on with that for the longest time. And I'm just going like, okay, let's rewind to 1986 when I was in like preschool, and we're like at that level, that mentality level. God, come up with something new. Good. Even Prime, when it's like Prime occasionally comes up with a good like zinger. Don't get me wrong, but 9 times out of 10, it's just like the same sad song every single time. And you think an old movie like Groundhog Day, where they filmed part of that movie next to my hometown, back home in Illinois, would literally come true. Just out here on YouTube. And I get why people why they do that. It's like, oh, well, this really strikes a nerve with them. Let's just do this every day. It's like, oh my God. Consider the source. So, anyway, I mean, you know where I'm going with that? It's nothing new. It's absolutely, it's the same shit. I'm like, oh. And that's the reason why I do not get in VCs. Because if I get in a VC with a group of people that are talking about what the fuck ever, well, first of all, half these VCs, you don't have to be in, because somebody's recording them anyway, and they're going to leak out on YouTube at some point anyway. So we could just, just kind of like twiddle our thumbs and sit back and have a tall, cool glass of OJ and grab ourselves a bowl of popcorn and wait for the VC to get put out on YouTube and blast it out for the whole world to hear. I mean, that's even going on recently again, but I'm just, if I go in a VC, it's just going to be the same bullshit. Oh, all about Abe. And yes, I did create a sub account, an alt account that is called All About Abe. I love that channel. I need to use it some more. And Myra, you're damn right, All About Abe. This is YouTube, man. This is YouTube. This is MeTube. I'm making this about me. Now what you got to say? What you gonna do about it now? Right? Oh God. But no, and thank you, STL. I appreciate that. But much as Exhibit 1 was in the state of Kansas, I have Exhibits A and B, Alpha and Bravo. And those are in my community tab. Check them out. They pertain to somebody who likes to run around and pit people, against each other. This somebody who's like virtually not going to stop until he feels satisfied that he's completely dismantled and shredded and ripped apart the community that he was very much a part of for several years or more. And I wish the guy would have stayed on point when he started out, but that's not what he did. So it's like, what points does this guy have to make? Anything? Well, he's got something there. He's got some beef with them, and that's fine. It's got nothing to do with me. But when it does become something to do with me is when he tries to pull the shenanigans that he tried to pull with me before, right? Will they? How you doing, man? What's up? But God, man. But the reason I put those out was to prove a point. And you guys need to go check out my last video short, too, if you haven't already. That was a clip that I grabbed. That was like The first time we cornered that crow was there, and you know the guy, he had every chance on COVIDs to try to sit and act even remotely civil with these people, even myself, and he just would not do it. He just instantly goes into defense mode and just spurgs out and starts trying to scream over everybody. Now, I'm like, really? Really? Come on. Come on. Is that that probably is the real Paulie Crispy in there? Because he doesn't come in my channel very often. But anyways, I know you got a server out there. What we're going to do is we're going to take bets on how long that server of yours is going to stay up before you decide to take it down again. So how long are you going to leave that thing going? Or is it possible that you didn't take those servers down and you just decided to hide the thing and then we all got kicked? I don't know. Did you know that he literally blew a lung because he said you kicked him out. But I explained to this guy, he says, Emo, we all got kicked out because it's gone. So, Paulie, the thing about it is you don't leave your servers up very long. And you've got, what's his name in there? Like that Harry Balls that it's no fun in a server with that guy because all he does is sit there and time me out for a freaking week at a time because he's so weak-minded. I literally buried this guy in a panel. Is it a fake Paulie? Is it a fake Medusa? I don't know if you're, because Paulie's got a couple other channels, and he even shared his server out on a channel only like 50 subs. So, anyways, whatever. Okay, so now we're having a great time. Now it's game on. Well, I'll just sit back and grab my coffee and just let y'all just go at it in the chat. Why not? Because I'm not. This isn't a. Just imagine if this was a StreamYard and I shared the link out. Oh, trust me, all hell would break loose this morning, man. So, anyways, that's pretty funny. But no. So Harry, I got Harry up on a couple channels. He wound up on Lisa's and ERR's. I think, or Tonic and Sales, formerly, and then ER's or Lisa's. It was a couple. I know ER's for sure. I think. I don't know. Who cares? But my point is, I took this guy on. No, it wasn't. It was Andrews. It was My Boss Brame's channel. I took him on there once, I think. He gets up on the panel, and I start going at it with this dude, and then he tells the host to drop me in the basement, and then they do, and then he sits there and just talks his shit, and then I finally get let back on again. I'm like, this ain't no damn panel battle, man. This is called a shadow box show is what the fuck this thing is, man. Come on, you can't have a battle on a panel by dropping somebody and then letting them back up when only when you're good and ready. I mean, what kind of bullshit is that, right? Exactly. So, he tried to run with this narrative that I doxed this, and I'm going to say it's a way overused word, retard, hillbilly man, by simply showing a screenshot of this dumbass when he cammed up on a live panel. So, in other words, a YouTube, a StreamYard guided, no wait, yeah, a StreamYard guided YouTube live stream. You know what I'm talking about. So the guy cam slips like Blue Eyes did on a live panel, and everybody that was there got to see it. How about them? How do you like them apples? And what really happened here is this guy was taunting me. He was trying to. He was tormenting me for 9 months that I didn't have a picture of what he looked like. And I said, you really don't want to take me up on that challenge. I can assure you of that. But he did. And I said, I finally granted his wish. And I gave him a picture of himself. I mean, I put up my community tab. But that picture didn't come off of Instagram. It didn't come off of Facebook. It didn't come off of a work-related website or any of that. That was fair game. That was the same thing as when D-Band's picture got clipped. It got clipped from a YouTube live stream. That's where it got clipped from. It didn't come from anything other than off the platform. So the person I know that got accused of doing that didn't do anything wrong. Anybody else has done is by grabbing an image of somebody, what they look like off of a YouTube panel. That's there for everyone to see. It's public. Hey, I have cam slipped, and a few times. Actually, I did it more than a few times. It's just people are too lazy and can't figure out the channels that I did it on like 4 or 5 years ago. So there's definitely that. But I will say this: I don't look anything like any of you guys thought I would look like at all. Not hardly. And I am 6 foot even. Not a millimeter, or a nano inch, taller or shorter. I'm pretty much like right dead on 6 foot tall. I just measured myself like the other day, and there I still am. There I stand. You know, I mean, I don't get out here and say I'm just gonna whip all your asses, man. I mean, you know, I'm just gonna kick all your guys' asses. That's what I'm gonna do. Your ass is grass, man. And I'm the lawnmower. You ever hear that one? That's a moldy oldie. But I don't do that. I just don't. It's because there's a lot of people out here. Right now there's 26 of you. And okay. Am I gonna like take all of you on? like is this gonna be like a Beverly Hills Ninja type movie? That was funny. That was a Chris Farley, actually. You know, these old kung fu, jiu-jitsu. I don't think so. A little taekwondo in there. No. So I don't get on the YouTube platform and threaten to kick everyone's asses. How you doing, Becca? Unless I'm just saying it in jest, like I just did now. You know, I don't get. I mean, does anybody have a clip of me threatening to blow anybody's head off if they try to like pull in my driveway or sit outside of my house and take pictures? I mean, I'd love to hear it. I mean, as far as I know, I've never done anything like that. Who would know but me, right? That's right. I mean, maybe I've got a phaser and a photon torpedo waiting for you to vaporize your ass, but like on Star Trek, Star Wars, but you know, yeah, that. There's still 20 of you in the house here watching. Isn't that great? That's awesome. But no, it's just like people like that. They just like, oh my God, you guys, you don't even know how to troll right. I mean, not that I'm like some marksman troll or anything like that. I'm not even a troll at all. But you know, my thing of it is if you want to duke it out with somebody, then don't sit there and beg the host to drop you backstage because you can't take the heat. And that would go for everybody, including myself. if you catch me on a panel saying, and I have done that before. I mean, don't get me wrong, once or twice, I think. That was, I think it was like probably peg leg there. Um, and that's because he just kept. I sat there and let the guy go for like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 minutes, and he just would not shut the hell up for like 2 seconds, so that you could have a comeback with him. And I would tell like Lisa, hey, just could you drop the guy for 2 seconds, just to try to get him to shut up, and then bring him right back up again. Don't leave him. Don't do it like I could be did and say, yeah, just kick this guy backstage, get rid of him, and then get thrown backstage for like 20 minutes while the guy's just talking shit talking you on a panel, without you right there. I mean, Jesus Christ. Well, the thing of it is, Paulie, there's moderators and then there's admins that can stomp moderators. So, just saying. Who all is in that server of yours anyway? Who is we? I'm just curious who that is. Do tell. Put out the Rembrandt letters. I want to see them now. Put them out where I can see them. I want to know. You'll like it, Abe. Okay, well then that tells us who's like probably in there now. Yeah, I kind of figured that. Okay, you have 4 people in your server besides yourself. 5 of you, is that it? Okie dokie then. So yeah. Well, I never did a goddamn thing to that guy. Not one thing. But that guy decided to get in my VC, and you guys know the rest of the story. He decided to clip me out of context, throw it up on his channel video short, had 667 views exactly before he took his own channel down, and tried to throw out a false narrative, just the same as me, as went down with Church of Four, Shiva. So that many years ago. And that's where him and I started having major problems. Now, him and I never got along prior to that. Don't get me wrong. But that was when it was game on between him and I. And that's when I could really tell that this dude is incredibly disingenuous. And the narratives he tries to paint people, without taking a good, hard, ironclad look in the mirror at himself. And that's my whole thing with that guy. And hence the reason that I have excuse me. Hence the reason that I have exhibits A and B on my community tab. Because I'm like, okay, 2 can play at this game. I got some shit that most of these other guys don't have on you because they just don't know about you. So you want to pull that one like he did over there in Zetoichi's. I can do the same thing. So take that and so much more. Anyways, I know we're all such happy little people out here. It's almost 2 hours. I'm going to cut this thing off in less than 2 minutes. This is your 2-minute warning to get out what you want to get out. If you got a question, you've got questions. We have blank stares. Que sera, sera. Don't forget to write. Does anybody write anymore? I don't think so. Can you even get postcards at the post office anymore, besides going in there to buy 1 stamp and hang out and video record? I almost said tape. Video record everyone. Who knows? Who cares? Paulie Crispy has a server. Isn't that grand? I'll take it under advisement and go to court of the People's Court of Public Opinion Chambers, and welcome to our evil air, and I will take it into consideration. So your motion is noted, but it might just get stricken from the record now. That would be getting timed out or blocked, which thankfully we had a problem with that today. Not really, right? Not really. Well, it's been fun. It's been great. Did you guys have fun? I had fun. I had a great time. It's time to get lunch. It's lunchtime. Hell yeah. So there we go. Have fun. Look for another scheduled open live chat without a host or a panel. Probably coming your way maybe in the next hour or two. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys. All things being equal, all things must come to an end. The small YouTuber always hedges their bets. And all I want to say is this. Thanks for coming, and we'll catch you in the next